We went back and we thought long and hard. The comments from Auburn and Alabama fan made us second guess our whole existence.
They sure did. Boy, you made some intriguing points.
No, they didn't. But our thoughts on the game were solidified or changed. We have upon further review of the Auburn game next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. He's Clint. I'm Daniel. They are FanDuel bringing you today's episode. Love them. More on them in a second. It's Monday. Happy Monday to you. We've reached another week, which means we have come through another weekend. We all needed some buckets this weekend. We all made use of the buckets this weekend.
Every bucket was utilized.
All the buckets. I'm talking about this was the kind of weekend that you went into the kitchen, you found a mixing bowl that would serve as a bucket.
Things could be a bucket. You found out real quick they could.
Ice bucket, still a bucket. You can use it. We're finding all sorts of uses for all kinds of vessels, but we made it through. Georgia defeated Auburn. Auburn did not win the game.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. Georgia's beaten Auburn 7 times in a row.
I'm sorry. How's that now?
This is supposedly a rivalry, I'm told. Jordan Hare is a terribly, awfully, painfully difficult place to play. Georgia's now won there 4 consecutive times that they've played there. And so those are fun things to think about. 7 times in a row against Auburn. And Brock Bowers had 121 yards receiving in the fourth quarter, Clint. Every time you say a different thing about Brock Bowers, it gets better and better. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing to the show. We're happy to have you. Today is on Monday. What we like to do, we go back, we rewatch the game, we rethink about some of our thoughts from the game. And we come and we say, were our overreactions too much? Were they not enough in some cases? I want to start here with Brock Bowers, Clint. He's the best football player in America. I got people coming up to me at church today, not Georgia fans at all, just coming up to me, talking to me about
casuals.
Brock Bowers is better at football than everyone else in America, and it's so painfully obvious to see. When you just cut on the tape and watch it, it's obvious.
My favorite comment so far, and I have no clue if this is a Georgia fan or an Auburn fan. If it was a Georgia fan, please reach out. We need some tough love for you. If it's an Auburn fan, please keep watching.
But
don't contact us. But you're not here. They said that was cute what Brock did. Beck and Brock in the fourth, that was cute. But that won't work against a real defense.
That's an Alabama fan's what that is.
Okay.
Clint, there's an Alabama fan for you right
One, it'll work against anybody in America because it's Brock Bowers.
Number 2, if you're an Alabama fan, please don't speak to us about our offense until you have gotten your house in order.
Nah, glass and rock throwing and things happening. Number
right.
3, it was a very, very, very good defense that has pressured people all year and has played incredible secondary play against the pass.
Yeah, and what did they do? They defecated all over themselves to the tune of number 19 taking whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, from whomever he wanted.
Brock the Impaler marches where he wants.
But this is where I want to start, because upon further review, Clint, let me make a statement and let me just have you react to it.
Okay.
This Georgia offense is a heck of a lot more than just Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers catching a lot of headlines, and as well he should. Brock Bowers for Heisman, build a statue, print the posters, whatever you want to do. It's fine. Brock Bowers can catch all the headlines, and I get that. This Georgia offense is a lot more than just Brock Bowers. And I saw some things from some guys on Saturday, Clint, that I thought were particularly comforting and reassuring to me as this Georgia team moves forward in the season. What are your thoughts on the Georgia offense not named Brock Bowers?
I'll list some players that showed out.
Okay, let's do that.
Rah-rah.
Hello, number 5.
Welcome to the show, young man. You were clutch when we needed it most.
He's been clutch all season, Clint. This guy, he has been the guy all year. He's quickly ascending and becoming one of my favorite players on this team. I love every time he is targeted, it seems as though good things happen for the Georgia offense.
That's exactly right. I'll list somebody else. Ladd McConkey, welcome back.
I didn't think he was going to play today, Clint. I was pretty sure. I was told that he was. In fact, Brad Nessler told me during the game that Ladd McConkey played in the opening series but hasn't been seen since. He said that, interestingly enough, as Ladd McConkey was currently on the field in front of him.
Yeah, lining up.
Yep. So Ladd McConkey with some big time catches on the sidelines, moving the chains, picking up some key first downs. He was exactly who we knew him to be. Maybe, he didn't have all the routes in the bag. We didn't see him try to go over the top or anything like that. But he comes out and runs he runs the best routes of anybody on this team. And the dude just knows how to get open. I love watching him play. I cannot wait for the rest of the season, him being healthy.
How about, again, Dejon Edwards and Bell being a workhorse tandem in the backfield, Daniel?
A 1-2 punch in the back. Exactly what this team needs. We have our 2 backs, Clint.
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Fine. By the way, Dylan Bell also lined up at receiver and caught a pass in this game. And so that's fine, Bobo. If you want to use him in multiple positions in multiple ways, that's fine. As long as he is getting the second most carries on this team, which he did on Saturday by quite a wide margin, as long as he's getting the second most carries on this team, that is all I need to see, because the combination of Dejon Edwards and Dylan Bell, this offense has got some weapons, Clint. Now listen, there are some concerns on the offensive side of the ball. We scored 24 points against South Carolina, and we scored 27 points against Auburn. It's not exactly as if Georgia against SEC competition is going out and lighting up the scoreboard. But this offense can get it done when we need to get it done. We showed that in this game. And there are a lot of really good pieces in place for the Georgia offense.
I encourage you all to listen to Kirby Smart more after the game. He said,
wise.
He thinks that we don't understand how hard it is to win in the SEC on the road. If you guys don't think that, again, Kirby Smart in Tennessee last year, when we had him at home, and the second quarter he told Todd Monken, start running the ball in the second quarter. If you don't think that he understands how difficult it is, he wanted to keep the game close. He thought he had a puncher's chance. He's looking at the meta the whole game. It was a specific play call. Now you can get mad at Kirby Smart, which I'm going to get to here in a moment, the second segment, upon further review. Thanks to John Tweet Sports for a little insight to all you haters out there who are just talking out of your backside. But I want to do this. Carson Beck, when you keep on all you naysayers of Carson Beck, please leave. What are you doing? Here, I'm going to give you Stetson Bennett. His first year starting at Auburn, first year starting for Georgia as quarterback, what he did against Auburn. You ready?
Sounds good.
17 of 28 for 240 and 1 touchdown.
Well, that's lighting the world on fire right there. Is that better or worse than what Carson Beck did on Saturday?
And we scored 27 points.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that wild how that happens?
It is absolutely wild. I get it. You play quarterback in the SEC. You play quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. When you make some bad throws, and he did, he made a few. When you make some bad throws, everybody's going to remember them. But there is no Carson Beck. There's no Carson Beck hate on this podcast. He is the best option, and it is not particularly close. We've got more to discuss. Going to talk about King Kirby and some of his decision-making right after this.
But this is athleticbrewing.co. Athletic Brewing Company is fantastic, Daniel. What if I were to tell you that you're going to go to a Kentucky game? And what else to tell you that you need to hydrate yourself because it's an SEC opponent. It's an SEC game. Kentucky, come on down to Athens, and you need to hydrate yourself. You can't be losing.
Be hydrated.
You best be. You need to practice Friday. You need to practice Thursday. You need to get a salt lick somewhere in your life.
You need to build up a foundation of hydration. Do you understand the words that we're telling you?
Or Athletic Brewing has these incredible non-alcoholic brews that taste, and I'm not kidding you, award-winning compared to the other beers, alcoholic beers out there.
Sir.
But Athletic Brewing is non-alcoholic, and they taste better than those head to head.
Yeah,
so you don't have to worry about hydrating. Maybe you're lazy on Friday. Maybe you just forgot it, and you're like, oh, no, I didn't hydrate. Don't worry. Athletic Brewing's got your back. And right now, if you use promo code LOCKEDON for 15% off your first order, you get everything that you order, 50% off with the promo code LOCKEDON. That's athleticbrewing.com. First time people put in promo code LOCKEDON, 15% off your entire order. All right. King Kirby made some decisions. I want to frame this next conversation. You have some things to specifically look at.
Okay.
Some decisions that he made. I want to focus on something that people, again, rose-colored glasses, and I don't think we understand what we as Georgia fans do. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to
educate the people.
I'm going to put a little mirror up. Okay. So Auburn fan and Alabama fan, run, hide. It's not going to be good what you see in the mirror.
Not going to be pretty for you.
But Georgia fan,
you still have Tommy Rees as your offensive coordinator, so that's not good.
That seems to be doing the opposite of what an offensive system ought to do. And
but Nick Saban sure did yell at some people on Saturday and get them all fired up. And then you were able to tackle the mighty Mississippi State. Nice work. No, it's a real schedule, though. Tell us more.
It's a
real schedule. You avoid Kentucky and Missouri.
Okay.
But it's a real schedule.
Huh.
Huh. You get to play LSU, who...
What just happened?
Oh, no.
What just happened?
Oh, no.
All right. King Kirby. The last two seasons plus this season. This is brought to us by the way, John Tweet Sports. Go find him on Twitter. Fantastic. Follow over there.
Love John.
This is what the last two seasons plus this year.
Okay.
Georgia. So this is King Kirby. Last two seasons, really quick. Those were national championship winning seasons.
No, I remember them. But
this year, we think things are different. This year, we're calling for people's heads. This year, we suck. Okay.
Well, we suck.
Last two seasons plus this year, Georgia is 19-16 versus the spread and 10-13 against the spread versus unranked teams.
Uh-oh. So Kirby don't care nothing about covering. Is what you're saying. Against
ranked teams, the spread is 9-3.
He's 9-3 versus the spread.
Versus the spread.
So he overperforms expectations against ranked teams. Typically underperforms Las Vegas's expectations against unranked teams. Ominous music sounds. And it's interesting because it's almost as if
tell the folk
he doesn't care at all about who's ranked and who's not, and he doesn't care at all about what a team is supposed to do versus what a team is not, quote unquote, supposed to do. What does he care about, I wonder, Clint?
So what he did, I'm going to tell you, he went into Auburn week saying rivalry on the road, whole lot of first-time starters, injuries everywhere, getting guys back. All I care about doing this week, coaching staff and players, is winning.
Oh, well, that's what he is against the spread, Clint. Let me put it to you another way, though. In his last 22 games, what is Kirby Smart on the money line? If you were just take him on the money line, how's he doing there?
Okay, I'm going to carry the 2 and add the oh, wait, I don't need to. He's perfect.
He's 22-0 in his last 22 games.
But this
what about his last 35 games?
Uh-oh.
Is he 34-1 on the money line in his last 35 games?
That's it. Guys, that's interesting. And I say all this to say, please stop the narrative that we have a problem. Because if you think that, if you say that this year, if that's you, because we underperformed UAB, we let UAB score 21. Auburn, we went on the road and couldn't beat a bad Auburn. If you think that, then what you're saying is the previous 2 years teams and Kirby are just as awful, bad, horrible, and unacceptable. That's what you're saying. That's me. Tell me where the logic is wrong.
It doesn't mean that Georgia's going to win the national championship this year.
No, it does not.
All it means is that nothing has been shown to you that would lead you to say Georgia is out for the national championship this year. If anything, and you start looking at, you start really getting into the nitty-gritty of what's going on. If anything, you have seen some characteristics that would strongly indicate to you that Georgia does have something this year. Now, that thing is not the world's most dominant defense. That's not the thing that Georgia has. That thing is not Caleb Williams, like a quarterback who literally just goes out and plays video game numbers every single week.
Lincoln, you're trash.
What are you trying to do over there? Like Lincoln Riley's out here trying to just make friends.
You just bought a $3.6 million beach home. Do you know that they won't let you live there if you can't pay the bill?
He's trying to just go out here and make friends with people. Like, we want to beat you, but we don't want to beat you that bad. It's disgusting. Georgia doesn't have necessarily those things, but what Georgia does have is the best player in college football.
Check.
And the ability to win and scrap and claw and show resilience and come back and not be rattled and maintain composure and all of those really intangible football things that are actually very tangible and extremely correlated to winning in football, but don't show up on any sort of a stat sheet. Georgia is checking all those boxes.
An actual football team.
And so if you think that Georgia's football team is just objectively so much less talented than a bunch of other teams on its schedule, fine. Make an argument to me about how much less talented we are. But if you think Georgia is equally, if not more so talented than many of the teams that they will play for the rest of this season, and you think Georgia has a lot of intangible qualities that would lead to championship caliber football, and you know that Georgia has the best coach in college football right now, then why would you come and make an argument that says Georgia's out in terms of any college football playoff national championship? This is not going to work long term.
If we play this way in the playoff, we're never going to succeed.
I don't. What if you played that way in the playoff and it was on New Year's Eve and it was in the Peach Bowl and it was in Atlanta, and as the clock struck midnight, the kick just went wide to the left? What if you did play that way in the playoff and you did succeed, and then you won the national championship game by 60 points?
But it's not how my brain's working.
But it is how reality worked just last year.
Okay.
So it's interesting that you say we can't do it in those types of environments, because guess what? We have done it in those types of environments. So
we're going to come back, but first these. Daniel, it's your favorite read. It's FanDuel.
FanDuel is the best. We love them. They are the number one sportsbook of the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, the number one sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network. FanDuel is the place that Clint and I trust to make all of our bets on Saturday. If you, like I, stayed away from that spread in the Georgia game,
don't do that.
But you just decided you wanted to hammer that money line. And so you were in a big sweat the whole week. But then in the end, Auburn did not win, but you did win. Then you're a happy person right now. FanDuel is the place that we go. All of our parlays, prop bets, Monday Night Football tonight FanDuel's got all of the player props, all the first touchdown scorers, all of that. And right now, you wager $5. They give you hundreds of dollars in bonus bets straight into your account. Go there right now, make a deposit, wager as little as $5 and receive hundreds of dollars in bonus bets. It's FanDuel.com/locked-on is where you go to get that promo. FanDuel.com/locked-on. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
I'm sorry. I have to interject with this next thing, Daniel, because I just got this over on Twitter. Carson Beck ranks 9th nationally and 2nd in the SEC in passing yards per game at 299.4 passing yards per game, and has completed 72 of his passes on the season. Thank you, Trent Smallwood.
Where's Jalen Milroe rank?
Are you asking?
Keep scrolling.
Are you asking for running?
Keep scrolling. Well, he is a running back, so
Yeah,
that would be what I would be asking.
I don't refute this.
No lies detected.
Oh. Daniel,
where's Devin Leary rank?
Oh my gosh!
Here we go. Clint, I'm gonna be in a full lather for Kentucky all week.
Really?
It's gonna be a situation.
Way, Kentucky fan, welcome to the pod. Glad you're here.
Kentucky fan. Let's chat, shall we?
Let's chat, because I know that your little scat back is slippery. I get it.
Oh boy, he's slippery. Cut through that Florida defense like a hot knife through butter. I would just chef's kiss watching that.
Daniel, they're a better ranked defense. They're a better defense than we have.
They have a better defense than we have.
So logic concludes we are going to be. We might as well quit.
College football nerds predict that we're going to lose by 252 points. That's not official, but they're out there. Their algorithm, it's a little early for their algorithm.
It's a little early for the algorithm. You have to give it some chance to really breathe. It's like it's like a good big red. You got to let that thing breathe.
It's a fine wine. You swirl it and you just want to let it open up. It's good.
Okay.
Let's talk about this defense though, Clint. We overreacted.
Okay.
We overreacted on Saturday. You admitted some things. You came clean on some things. Had a little confession.
Didn't like it.
We fought a little bit. People love to see that.
People love the banter.
People love the banter. Have you changed your mind about this defense in any way since we recorded on Saturday? Either to recant your apology and say we are an elite defense, blah, 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 or to say maybe we're not quite as good as I made us out to be.
Well, I want to ask a few questions to set up what I'm going to get to.
Okay.
Have we played one game, Daniel, where everybody on defense has been healthy?
I think the last game, like this game.
You think Javon Bullard was 100% this game?
I mean, he's healthy. He's healthy enough to go. I mean, I think he could have played last week. So I don't know that I would call him 100%, but I don't think he has an excusable injury, if that's what you mean.
I am not. No. I am not excusing his play. His play was bad.
His play was very poor.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know you could call him 100%, but
okay.
I don't see a reason to say he was like we should think about his play differently because of his physical status.
Let me ask my second question.
Okay.
Do you think that each game there has been a consistent force for this defense that has been the best player on the defense every single game? It's been the same, without question, no doubt about it. Or option two, certain people have absolutely showed out certain games and not other games, i.e. Chaz Chambliss showed out this game. Guys, go back and watch the film. He attacked pulling guards and tackles and down blocks with Nolan Smith-esque fortitude. That's high praise.
Yeah, he bounced everything outside, and then the secondary peed down their leg. Like, he did his job.
He crushed it
really well in defending
Colby Weldon.
That Auburn.
Good on you.
Hey, put him on the Heisman. Colby took a flyer on him for the Heisman, I believe. No, that was Stetson Bennett.
My point is I don't think that's been the case. I think Bullard showed out. Tyke showed out. Michael's been the most consistent of all of them. I'm sorry, Malachi has been.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you. I think if you look at this defense all year, I think there are two people that have one person and one group that have consistently risen to the top of this defense.
Good.
It's Malachi Starks.
Yep.
And the interior defensive line, Warren Brinson, Nazir Stackhouse.
I agree.
Company.
I'm fine with that. So here's my conclusion. My conclusion is Chaz Chambliss showed me something this game. He repeats that the rest of the season. Ooh, my goodness, that edge is set. Michael plays every single game the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Okay. Our linebackers decide somewhere along the line that mediocrity and pissing down your leg is not good enough and actually how to diagnose a play. It's going to be something because Chaz is going to bounce everything and then you just scrape over the top and do your job. Kamari Lassiter, second corner, whoever it may be, please, for the love of all that is good and holy, may it be Humphrey. Please, may it be him. If they put together what we've seen flashes, they've shown flashes of tackling. Daniel. What I'm suggesting is if all of that happens in a consistent form, this defense is best in the SEC. Yes.
First of all, it's just a lot of ifs. It's a lot of ifs. We're in agreement.
The floor
here.
is very low. That's the thing that I do not recant. We are not. The floor is very low for this defense compared to previous years. It's not great.
I don't like we're 5 games in, right? This is not a.
We're 5 games.
This is not a 5 games in is 1/3 of the season. We are not in a small sample size window anymore. The algorithm has had plenty of time to load, is what I'm trying to say. We're 5 games in. The ceiling of this defense is not the best in the SEC. This defense is not going to be as good as Alabama's defense at any point this year. I don't see it. I don't see this defense being on that level this year. I think there's a lot of young talent on this defense. I think they're going to grow, and I think they are going to continue to get better. I will give you that. But it's a lot of ifs, and some of the ifs seem a little bit more promising to me than some of the others. If the inside linebackers can get their act together, I genuinely believe that's going to happen. I really do. I think Smile Mondon is a very good football player, and there is no way that Jamon Dumas-Johnson has forgotten everything he knows about football. There's just no way it's possible. I really believe that the play out of the edge with Jalen Walker and what we've seen out of Xavier Sori when he's rushing the passer, combined with a healthy Michael Williams, is going to result in consistent and continued pressure on the quarterback. I hope that what we saw from Tyke Smith at Auburn was him getting exposed a little bit, but that he's a veteran and he's going to learn from that, and his play is going to bounce back toward what we saw early in the season from him. We know what we have in Malachi Starks. I do not think these corners are good. I'm just going to say that out loud for the podcast. I don't think the corners are good, and I use that plural. And you could make it 2, you could make it 3, you could make it 4. It almost doesn't matter to me. I don't think the corners are good. Hey, tell me what you think about Georgia's defense. I don't think the corners are good. Which ones? The corners. That's how I feel.
The position group of corners. I have an interesting, we might do this another episode. We're going to see more cyclical teams in college football now with NIL and with transfer portal. Because I think if you're bad for a while, you get to stockpile some people that are playing on your team. And if you're good for a while, people aren't going to break that upper crust. That's why you see which, by the way, I heard somebody steal our hockey line quote over on CBS.
I mean, what is CBS doing? Oh. Praise the Lord that this is the last year we have to watch the 2:30 CBS crew call another game. It cannot get here a minute too soon.
We might do that on another podcast, but
yeah,
that does it for Upon
Review. It's It's still a tough sell for me for the defense. I may have calmed down a little bit, but listen, I trust this defense going into Kentucky week to consistently tackle the football? What do you have to do against Kentucky? You have to tackle the football. Like, that's what you have to do. Like, they ain't going to go down there and drop back and throw bombs over your head.
What Stoops wants to do coming into Athens. You need help because...
Do I trust this defense to do that? Hold on. Let me run, fetch a bucket, and then I will let you know on tomorrow's show. Okay, bye.